Good morning, and thank you for joining me this week. I'm Hanniz from Antas Solutions, and we'll be speaking about e-commerce, social commerce, and social media. We spoke about last week how little tweaks to your e-commerce website can help to increase sales. What do you do to help your customers become more loyal to you? This is especially for those who are dealing with fashion and beauty brands. So I'm going to share with you some of these other brands who are actually using certain tactics to increase customer loyalty. All right. So just to cover base, we don't want it to be, when a new customer comes to your website, you don't want it to be too overwhelming, and you don't want it to be too basic that they don't know what they're looking for, or they cannot find what they're looking for, or maybe whatever they searched for through organic traffic that came to your website is irrelevant to what they want, right? So basically, e-commerce today and tomorrow are going to be very revolutionary, right? It's not like before where, people used to maybe buy house to house. They had house parties, for example, like Avon. They gathered their friends to come together and discover new makeup products, like the Tupperware parties, right? So rather than having to go physically now to people's homes, now you are going into a virtual home, right? You are entering their lives virtually, and it's definitely a bit more difficult, but the good thing is that you can actually meet a global market. You're not limited to just your local market. What makes a good e-commerce website? You are mobile friendly. You have you have smooth user experience. That means people don't have to look for your buy button. They know how to check out immediately. They know how to do their returns. They know how to use the discount codes that you offer immediately. You have the banner there, to welcome them to take advantage of free shipping. You have exit navigation. So when when they have an intention to leave your website because they couldn't find what they want, or they want to compare prices with other websites, then the exit intent is there so that you can capture them back, right? And then, of course, there's easy checkouts, like I mentioned earlier, and things that make e-commerce better for tomorrow. These are interactive engagements. For example, AR, augmented reality. There's VR, virtual reality. There's online try before you buy samples. You have a personalized recommendation and shopping. Nowadays, there are some brands who have their own app where they have their beauty advisors come to advise the customer live on their website. So that's really cool. And then how can you bring e-commerce to the next level, especially with tech, right? So when you're using AR, for example, you have the virtual try-ons. Customers are able to see how they look like with the makeup on them without even having to step into your store or your outlet. You have online consultation and services. And because you're using AI, artificial intelligence, the technology is able to actually, fit into what you are looking, what have your shopping habits, your likes, your dislikes, your skin type. AI is able to recommend the right products based on your actual needs. And what are consumer expectations besides being beautiful, being able to dress up quickly, make up quickly, without breaking a sweat? I know some people enjoy putting on their makeup. They take hours sometimes, maybe more minutes anyway. But basically, they like to be treated like a human. They want to be responded to as quickly as possible. They want to be able to find your brand across channels with a consistent message. That means whatever you are putting out there on one channel has to be consistent with what you're putting on another channel. And then you know what you stand out for. Your values, your missions are there. For example, you are very clear that you do not test your products on animals. You speak passionately. You speak to the customers' pain points and their values. You give value for privacy data. For example, you respect their data. Whatever you collect, you tell them transparently what you're using it for, and you reward them for their loyalty. What are the implications for brands? Right now, they want a personalized customer engagement. They want meaningful and relevant content sent to them. That's where you have your email sent out. It's more like segmented emails, so not generic emails. It's very customized messaging. Like yesterday, I had some issues with my MailChimp account for another thing that we were sending out for a newsletter, and there was a lot of complaints on their social media. The customers are saying that they did not respond to their queries, they just ignored their messages. But when I actually went to their Facebook page and I left a message, immediately a few minutes later, somebody actually replied from MailChimp to my comment, asking me to trying to solve my problem. When they understood that they couldn't solve my problem there, and then they asked me to send a DM through their Facebook page, because that's where I left my comment. And immediately in my inbox, because I left my email address in the Facebook Messenger, right? Immediately in my own email inbox, messages were there. So it's very consistent in how they communicated with me. The problem, I don't know whether it's solved yet, but I'm going to check it out later. And of course, we have been speaking about being omni-channel all the time, right? Being present wherever possible, keeping on innovating, not being comfortable where you are, but looking out for ways to be more connected with your customers. How some of these AI, AR, I'm going to cover some AR examples now. You can see here that, just being an e-commerce website is no longer enough, right? People want to interact with you as a brand as well as with your products. So that's why, apps where you can try on fashion products, or even their makeup, different skin tones, different colors, different shades, they all matter. And the conversion rate is extremely convincing. As you can see, Estee Lauder's higher conversion rate was 2.5 times higher when they had the lip virtual try-on. They had 17,000 beauty advisors trained using a UCAM AR live training platform. And of course, because of the AI-driven iMatch virtual shade expert, which actually recommended the right shades for their skin, that also helped them in selling more foundations, right? And this is benefit. They actually were selling eyebrow colors, and they had an 113% increase in conversion rate, 101% increase in user time on sites, and 20% increase in add to cart from its site. And if you're thinking, it's too early days, I don't want to work on it. It's not too early days. In 4 years' time, nearly 75% of the global population will be frequent AR users. This was shared by Snapchat. Snapchat is no longer just a social platform where you share fun videos. They have shared some really, really good insights. 70% of shoppers feel that finding products online that actually fit is becoming difficult because there's so much choice. Sometimes, what you see on the website does not actually come in real life. When they are delivered to you, it comes differently. And then because of the non-fit factor, 5 billion plus pounds of waste is created by product returns every year. Sometimes when people return used products, some brands don't actually reuse them. They just send them straight to the landfills, perhaps, right? And 94% of you can actually see there's a 94% higher conversion rate as individuals can better assess products using AR, and that's how they also feel very connected to brands. So some of the these are some of the videos that you can see of how this brand they actually had an ability to share their own experience, their own AR Snapchat experience with their friends. So when their friends actually clicked on the link that the user is sharing, they are also able to try on the same eyewear that this person is trying on virtually, which is really cool and is a very smooth transition. And for this two-faced Born This Way tutorial lens, they actually played with organic lens. So for Too Faced Born This Way, how they used this app was actually to create brand awareness, to encourage product trial using the colors of the products that are available in AR, teaching people how to use their products, as well as having really, really great results. They had 117,000 shares of this app, right? Yes. 2 in 3 consumers have no qualms about switching brands. So if the experience with you isn't great, they have no doubt they will actually move on to another brand, right? So how does this actually help you? If you're using Snapchat, they have this new service that they're providing free, which is Lens Studio. I'm going to put the link in the description box. They will enable personalization with virtual try-ons. They have they drive consideration with social commerce, and they build loyalty with immersive experiences. If you have not heard, TikTok has also now increased their minutes from 3 minutes to 10 minutes. That's something to look forward to. And they are going into e-commerce. So do check out what they have to offer, and maybe we'll go into that the next week. So thank you again for joining me this week. Do leave your comments below, share this and like this video if you actually enjoyed it and if you learned something from it. If you're not subscribed to our channel, please do so. And I look forward to seeing you next week. Bye.